Hey, there's a cat, bud. Look at the cat so Leon can be happy because I don't give two fucks about
Hey!
the cat.
Hi, Ninja. You are a pretty boy.
He's making little biscuits.
What?
Fucking
Is he
crazy.
pooping? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the BREWDCAST. I am, as always, Bud Robinson. To my that way is the adorable Leon with his pet cat Ninja, and over here is Hi Ninja. Is without Ninja, the venerable Town.
Fucking hate cats. I fucking hate cats. God. That's not true. I don't hate cats. I don't like cats as much as you like cats. Let me say that. I don't want to talk about cats that much.
That's fine. That's perfect.
Cats are fine. If I see a cat, I'm like, "Hi, cat. How are you? Okay, cool. Don't go away."
Well done. Don't go away.
Cool, great, bye. Thanks. I would never be mean to a cat.
So we started this podcast with we were just laughing, but I feel like we would be remiss to not mention the passing of Antonio Inoki. It was last week, I guess. Yes?
I think it was just after our podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude did a lot
Quite
for
recently.
wrestling in Japan, legend. You know, I think it's harder for us because when he was actually doing stuff, we weren't really.
Yeah.
We were like pooping in a diaper.
Alive. Yeah.
You know. So, but you know, he did a lot. He did a lot over there, and he was a legend.
I mean,
It's hard to lose a guy like that. It's kind of the equivalent of when Hogan's gonna go here. It's kind of the same thing. Now Hogan's a piece of shit, and Inoki wasn't such a piece of shit. But in terms of like the wrestling memories and the star power, this is how I meant that.
but like,
And making it a huge thing in his country, yeah.
Because we can hate on Hogan all we want. He's done some really stupid shit, and he's kind of a piece of shit. But without him, he did a lot for this business. And I think Inoki in Japan is kind of the same thing.
yes, but Inoki and Hogan in Japan was huge. Inoki and I want to say Inoki and Flair in Japan was huge. He's the founder. He's a co-founder of NJPW. He's also, we forget that he's basically the father of MMA leaking into. In some respects, MMA by itself.
Yeah.
Right, but also that sort of like martial arts.
Don't go that far with that, because there's a lot. There's a little bit more to that than that.
Yeah, that's fair. But when we're talking about Ali versus Inoki, that was a big step, and that was also a big step introducing martial arts into professional wrestling. I think if you talk to a lot of the guys who started doing that, they would cite Antonio Inoki, like his mark on the business. I'm sorry, Hogan has done his bit, but his mark on the business is going to be instrumental. But I agree with you that the three of us probably don't feel that as much, and not just because we don't. It was out of our time, but also because we didn't live in Japan, right? Like
I think that's the key. I think is that we didn't live in Japan. I think it's going to be felt way more over there. We can sit over here and say that dude was really important, but I don't think we're going to feel what the Japanese wrestling fan would feel like. The ones that are living over there are going to look at it a little differently than we are.
Yeah.
Because, when Hogan goes, that's going to be a big deal. When Vince McMahon goes, that's going to be those are big deals. Whoops. Okay, I almost knocked my microphone over. Yeah. So I would agree. I don't think we really feel the true piece of that.
Words, Leon?
Let's not argue about the start of MMA, though, because it's way more complicated than you just said. You really understated that whole thing. You bastard.
I am not saying that he was... Yeah, we'll argue this some other time. Not important. Do you have words, Leon?
Words.
Fucking amazing.
Brilliant.
That's fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. Hey, bringing it full circle to the thing we really like to talk about, which is like AEW. It's all we talk about.
Yeah.
Andrade got sent home.
Did he?
Yeah, they canceled this match this Friday. He got sent home. So him and Sammy Guevara got into a pissing match.
Yeah.
On Twitter, did you see that?
I saw that. Yeah.
Apparently, they had a fist fight at the show tonight, and Andrade started it, and they sent him home. Yeah.
Did not know about that.
He said he wasn't going to beat him up. He said he wasn't going to beat him up.
Well, apparently he threw punches because he's fucking gone. That's the rumor mill. I don't have an actual, but that's I read that on like 3 different sites. So he got sent home. What the fuck? I don't think Andrade's happy there.
Ricky Starks, he deleted it. He's since deleted it, but he put a Twitter post up that said, "I wish my coworkers would stop posting stupid shit on the internet," or something like that. I'm like, yeah, are you fucking right? Like,
I'm starting to think one of the flaws of AEW is that we're all the core audience is the smart fan. And it is. We're all smart fans because you can't say we're not. We're smart fans. We know what's going on. We know the behind the scenes shit. Okay, when you have a smart fan, and if I'm a worker and I'm pissed, I'm gonna go on Twitter and be pissed, and nobody's there to tell me not to do that. And if I go on Twitter and I'm pissed, the fans are gonna see it. I'm gonna get the attention. So there's no reason for them not to go there. But then everything that happens in the backstage, we're getting everything, and I don't think that's good. I think there needs to be a little bit more of control out of that. You know, like that CM Punk thing was like, that was fucking nuts. The way that unfolded was literally insane. And now this Andrade thing, it's like, okay, when you have these smart fans and we're all knowing, and when you air your laundry, a little tiny thing gets blown up because of the way everyone reacts, then it becomes a big deal. And for some things, that's really good. For some things, it's really bad. And then they're acting like children. I think that at the end of the day, I think that's the problem. I think the guys there, they're just acting like fucking children. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting out of AEW right now.
Yeah, I think that.
And there's I guarantee you, there's people in WWE that fight, and there's issues and there's shit.
But
that shit gets taken care of right away.
All of their Twitter shit is metered, right? Like it's controlled, it's metered by WWE. They have people who take care of that.
I wonder how much of that's going away, because those guys are allowed to have Twitch streams again because Triple H pulled all that shit back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they might have a little more control over their Twitter and stuff. But you know, at WWE, they're not going to fucking play that game with you. If you go out there and you act like a dick,
start shooting from the hip and airing all your dirty laundry on Twitter,
that ain't gonna work.
They're gonna come after you. Yeah, they're gonna come be like, dude, you
and
can't do that.
There's no, so that we're like,
yeah, I think that's the one good thing about the whole WWE social media policy and everything that gets kind of ran down a lot, which there are a lot of negatives to it, but that's one positive. Like, you're not having anybody airing the fucking locker room's dirty laundry on Twitter in the E. Like, pretty much anytime you see anybody talking shit, it's because they have a match coming up and it's all pretty blatantly in character stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not, backstage drama.
And I'm just starting to. AEW has this like weird renegade thing that they're trying to do. Like, we're different, we're this, we're that, and it's great.
Outlaw mud show bullshit.
I wouldn't call it that necessarily, but they do have that outlaw thing of, if you go to WWE, they're going to control everything you do. If you come here, you're going to have that freedom, and that freedom's great. But I think there's a point where we have to draw the line of where that freedom is.
Unchecked freedom.
Because it's just starting to get ridiculous. And it's starting to affect the product a lot.
Yep.
I mean, if you think about it, WWE had a similar thing around the Attitude Era. It wasn't quite the same because they didn't have Twitter.
Dude, imagine if there was fucking Twitter during the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the
but
during Montreal and shit.
Yeah, but like the Attitude Era was like the Wild West. And I think that's what Tony Khan is trying to, maybe a little bit more controlled than what Vince would have done, but he's trying to explode things by like giving everybody creative control, which has its pluses and minuses. But you have to dial that back, like you said.
I think Vince is a control freak and tried to control every piece, even when he let them be themselves. He still had the control.
I think Punk was right when he said that Vince likes it to think that it's the Wild West, and I don't think that when he was like the last 5 or 7 years he's reigned in control, but I think before that he wanted superstars to go off script, and most of them wouldn't because they were scared of him.
To a degree, I think so, but I also think one of the biggest differences in the Attitude Era, if you look at early 90s WWF, it was very controlled and whitewashed.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think one of the biggest things that changed for Vince McMahon in like 1997 was he became a major character on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So when your boss is a major character on TV and he's like the biggest heel and doing all this shit, he doesn't have time to sit there and micromanage the way he normally would. I think that played a huge part of that.
Yeah,
because he had to do all that shit, and that helped. It helped. But I don't know what Vince would not have let this shit go on in public like this. There's no fucking way he would have done that. He would have put a stop to it. He would have sat him down. He would have done whatever he wanted. He does like conflict, as we saw with Hart and Michaels. But he likes conflict that he can create things out of. And he doesn't want that conflict necessarily to shoot out of the backstage, which was easy.
Yeah, where you can aim it and put it on.
Yeah,
make for compelling television,
which is what it is. And I do. My personal opinion of the situation is if you put CM Punk and like fucking Kenny Omega in a match, and you build that up right, it's gonna be fucking huge.
Yeah,
it is gonna be fucking. It's about the biggest match I think there is right now. Or CM Punk in somebody against the Young Bucks, like that is the money right now because everybody knows they hate each other, and it's legit. It's not just but you're getting there again. Vince was a master manipulator in so many ways. He knew what buttons to push and he knew what to do. And Tony Khan I don't think he's manipulative like Vince was.
No,
and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Because I don't think it is. Like being manipulative isn't a good quality to have, but Vince was able to use that to expand what he was doing, and Tony Khan can't do it, and he's got this situation where
Tony's more like a substitute teacher, and that he wants everybody to express themselves, and he wants everybody to like him, but when it comes down to it, he doesn't have that much control.
I almost look at him as like a new age, like Google type of boss where you have, here's your job, but you can sit in whatever chair you want, and we can have all these breaks, and we can do all these out of the box things, just as long as we get it out there and we do what we're supposed to do. That's how I look at him. I don't look at him as a substitute teacher. I don't think that's a good analogy. I think he's got like a modern mindset of wrestling, but his management skills, you can't manage wrestlers like you manage Google, because wrestlers are kind of dickish.
The other part of that, I think, is that he seems to have that like, I need to have my fingers on everything. There's so much going on, especially with social media. He needs somebody. He needs to fall back on other people for that stuff.
I think he's overwhelmed. I think he's trying to be a one-man show, and I think one of the beautiful things when Vince McMahon bought the WWF was that he didn't get full power of the WWF. His dad didn't give it to him. He had Gorilla Monsoon, and there was somebody else. I think it was like Arnold Scotland or something. Those guys were part owners, and he didn't get control of the company till he paid X amount of dollars off down the road. So when he came in, it wasn't just Vince running the show. It was, well, Monsoon's here and Scotland's here. And there's other people that are here that are going to help this process. And Tony Khan doesn't have that. He has his EVPs, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and their idea of wrestling is very, they have a very definitive style, and they have a very definitive way of looking at it, and their way of looking at wrestling isn't how John Moxley looks at it. And their way of wrestling isn't how MJF looks at it. And their way of wrestling isn't how Danielson looks at it. So it's like a completely different thing. You're trying to meld all this shit together. If you go back to the early days, there was a lot more. I felt like the product was a little more similar. It was a little less broad, those early AEW shows. And we've kind of gotten to a point now where, like, you're going to see all sorts of shit. Because back then it was high-flying, really good matches, and a sprinkle of hardcore with, like, Darby Allin and those guys doing crazy shit. And now you have these brawlers and you have these technical guys. So you have, like, all these different things. And he's trying to do so much, and he doesn't have the people. He doesn't have the people he needs. You don't need wrestlers in those spots. You don't need an EVP that's working in the company, because that's a complete conflict of interest. Now, I don't necessarily think that Omega and the Bucks have abused that power. That's my opinion. You might disagree with me, but I don't think at any point they've abused that power. But wouldn't you be better served to have a retired guy who understands the business, like a Road Dogg? Or granted, he works for the E, but like a guy like that kind of understands the business and can kind of help you with that piece.
Yeah, and
then you go to social media and get somebody, and then you get somebody for this and somebody for that, and you can sit at the top and you can call the shots, but you don't have to be fucking hands-on with everything, because that does not. You can't do it. It's too hard.
He has to pick a lane, and I think
yeah.
he does really well. I think he does pretty well in the creative role. Like he seems to like jump back and forth. Like it's not all him. He talks to Bryan Danielson. He talks to the Bucks. He talks to Punk. He talks to like all of the performers to see what their input is and what they want to do. And that's good. That's great. Like get everybody's opinion and help them. But you can't do that and then also everything else. Like you just can't.
I think it's great. I think it's great if you take these guys that have this experience, like a CM Punk or a Bryan Danielson or a Moxley, and they say, "Hey, this is what I want to do," and you listen and you go, "Fuck yeah, let's do that." But you can't. Like you just said, he's doing too much. He's got to pick a lane. I think his lane is creative. I think that's where he needs to be. I think those other pieces, he needs somebody to come in and do talent relations and fucking legit do talent relations, legit have the control of that, so he doesn't have to fucking worry about that.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like McMahon had. Don't hire Johnny Ace, but McMahon had Johnny Ace.
No.
Don't hire Johnny Ace. But you need a guy like that, an experienced guy who.
I thought I heard something that they had Tony doing that.
Shivani.
I think he started to. I think around the time of that CM Punk thing, I think he started pulling people in, but he's got to keep pulling people in. He's got to have some. He's got to have some people there, and I just think. Now this Andrade thing simply could have been Andrade came in, was pissed off, and Tony said, "We ain't doing this." Because Andrade started the whole thing by calling out Sammy, and then Sammy responded because Sammy's not going to be a bitch. People hate Sammy, by the way. The whole crowd, the whole main event, we're just chanting "fuck you, Sammy," which I thought was hilarious. But I have a theory on him too. But then he just came in, he was being pissy, and they said, "You know what? Go home." And if there was no physical altercation, my response to that is great. You avoided that, and you put an end to it. If you can't fucking be professional, get the fuck out of here. Which is what they need to start doing.
Mm-hmm.
They really need to start doing that. And the thing I was going to say about Sammy Guevara, everyone is jealous of him because he's talented as fuck, and he married Ty Conti. And yeah, that's what whatever. That's what male wrestling fans do. They love a woman wrestler till she gets a boyfriend, and then we're fucking weird about it. Because we have no. We are. It's true though. It's true. That's what the males do. They come out there and it's, oh my god, I love her. Oh, she's a boyfriend? Fuck her. But that's the thing though. Is I think there's this jealousy piece, and if they're gonna hate Sammy Guevara, they're gonna pay to see him get his ass kicked. Good for Sammy. He's living the fucking dream, man. Living the fucking dream. I also sent you a text message tonight, bud, that said "ugh."
Yeah.
Can I tell you why I sent you a text message?
Yeah.
Ugh.
You'll never guess who it had to do with. Just guess who was
Jay
that?
Lethal.
Who was that?
Yeah.
Yes, Jay Lethal, and the tall guy and the smaller, not tall guy that's bald. whose names I'm not even going to say because I'm irritated with them. They disrespected Darby Allin, and he wanted to shake his hand. And now they're running an angle where it looks like Jay Lethal's going to break up with those guys and feud with them. And I'm like, you are wasting my fucking TV time with this. Stop giving them time. I want fucking Danhausen. I want someone that's actually going to entertain me. I like Jay Lethal.
You know what? Like, I 100% disagree with you. 100%. Like, Jay Lethal, I had a come to Jesus moment tonight. And I realized that the thing that they're doing with Jay Lethal right now is that 90% of the audience that is watching, maybe 70% of the audience that is watching AEW right now do not know who Jay Lethal is, because Jay Lethal has worked TNA, Impact, all the places where WWE guys who came, hold on, you get your turn.
Love Jay Lethal.
Okay,
I love
but
Jay
my
Lethal.
point, I know. But my point is, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to, by putting him on TV so much, they're trying to build him up. They're trying to put him in the faces of fans so that they know who this guy is. And then, should it ever happen that they get an ROH show, I heard some shit about this, which sucks. Should they ever get an ROH show, then they have Claudio to lean on. They have Jay Lethal to lean on. If he's still with Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt, they have those guys to lean on. They have guys that they can send over to an ROH show, and then you have these guys that you can showcase for an amazing show.
I have a question for you, bud.
Yeah. I still want to see Danhausen, just to be clear.
I know. But I'm not even talking about Danhausen. I'm going to talk about somebody more important. Who is a bigger star right now? Jay Lethal, tall guy and bald guy, or Wardlow?
I don't know.
Who's a bigger star? Who's more important to that company? Who's the one they're pushing to the fucking moon? Who's the guy
it is Wardlow. When you put it that way, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then answer me this. How come we have Jay Lethal and those guys on the show every week doing something that most people are kind of like, okay, when you can't put Wardlow on the fucking show? What are we doing? So it's more about how are we using some of these people? Or like Samoa Joe. Like Wardlow's on Friday. He wrestles on Friday for a show that gets like half the viewership of Dynamite. And they have him on for like a minute. He kills somebody in a fucking minute. Like, we're not putting him on. We need to get him on TV if we're actually going to run with him. But we're going to put these other guys on TV, and they're going to be on Tuesday and Friday. We're going to make them such a focal point. They get more TV time than Jon Moxley. If he's not wrestling, he didn't wrestle tonight. They were on the show longer than Jon Moxley.
I mean, if you want to do the research and figure that out and prove me wrong, but I don't believe that for a second. And I also don't believe that the amount of time that Jon Moxley gets is the same as the time that Jay Lethal and them get. Like Jay Lethal gets it in the middle of the card, and fewer people are paying attention.
And I get that, but tonight Jay Lethal had way more time than Jon Moxley.
Jon Moxley wasn't even wrestling.
No, but he was on the show. If he's your champion, he should be on the show.
That's was all on the show.
That's all I'm saying is you're putting so much into these guys, and I'm struggling to understand it. And I don't dislike Jay Lethal, and I fucking love Sanjay Dutt. I love Sanjay Dutt. He's annoying. I want to punch him. Like, I love Sanjay Dutt. I get him and I love him. Satnam Singh is just fucking terrible. He's tall. It's like Leon. He's just tall. That's all he has. And he's not a good promo like Leon. And he's not as cute as Leon. Right? So, like, he's just tall.
I just want to see him get powerbombed.
I honestly feel like they're putting those guys out there for tall guy, and it just feels that's what it feels like.
I don't think that's true. We'd have to get TK on the show. I'll give him a call later to grill him on that. But I think the important bit there is Sanjay Dutt and Jay Lethal. Because those guys have been in the industry for so fucking long, but most people don't know who they are. Because Jay Lethal can go, he does a great promo, as does Sanjay Dutt. Yeah, but they've never been in the E. At least not as far as I know.
They deserve some of the spotlight. I don't know if they deserve the spotlight every week the way they're getting it when other guys aren't getting the spotlight that are way bigger needle movers. So it's just like I don't understand.
I mean, if you want to argue that Wardlow isn't being used properly, we can have that argument. But like that's not the same as Sanjay Dutt and Jay Lethal. Like maybe they're using their time with Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh better than they are with Wardlow. But those are two different arguments.
I don't know that they are because there's other people that I think the same thing. You have these stars that disappear for like 2 weeks that you don't put on TV, but yet you have that group of guys on TV every fucking week without fail. You know, we see the best friends now like every 3-4 weeks. We see like Orange Cassidy's every other week at tops. And like Danhausen, who if you just gave that fucker a little bit of time, and Wardlow and Brian Cage and Wardlow had a match tonight. Did you see it?
That whole card was amazing.
Did you see it yet?
Yeah.
That fucking Wardlow match with Brian Cage was that might have been the best match of the night. I honestly think that might have been the best. That was the match that had me like, holy fuck, this is amazing.
I was shocked that it was as good as it was. And like, but so is Jay Lethal and Darby. Like the whole of the card this week. I'm straying a little bit. The whole of the card this week was about wrestling, and it was
good
bonanza. Like it was awesome. I loved that trios match.
The women's trios match.
Yes.
Yeah,
I look at those 6
I thought that was actually
to 8 women, and I'm like, that's your future right there. You put Willow in there, you put Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter, like those 8 women, they're gonna make your division. Like
they should
give it to them.
They should. I would agree with that.
Take
I thought that match
fucking title off of Jay. Like she's not getting us anywhere. Leon's falling asleep because we're not talking about anything that he knows.
He loves Jade.
I'm not falling asleep.
He's looking at his cat.
You just look like you're spacing out.
No, it was a good card. It had a lot of good wrestling.
No, this is my looking at the cat face.
Can you replace his face?
Me too.
Can you replace his face with Roman Reigns, please?
No,
I can't do that. I respect cats too much. I'm sorry, Town.
The other thing tonight was the trios match with that they're doing on Friday between the Dark Order because they pulled Andrade.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't do the mask versus career thing. So they're fighting the Death Triangle.
Which they shouldn't have done to begin with, but whatever.
This
is so weird.
I am excited for Friday because Pac is pulling double duty.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's fucking amazing. I think that is a great fucking gimmick. And I was hard on Pac.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I dislike him, but because I was irritated. I think him pulling double duty, I think that's fucking amazing. I think that's absolutely fucking amazing. For a few reasons. I think it's an easier way to get, like if he actually loses the belt,
mm-hmm.
have him pull double duty when he does it, then he's got an excuse and he looks a little better. Because I think if you run him right, he can shoot up that card pretty quick. I really think he can if you guys do it right.
And I thought about that too, like Trent Beretta. In a lot of ways, and we talked about this last week, but like in a lot of ways, Orange Cassidy getting the belt doesn't make a lot of sense. He's not going anywhere. Like he's not leaving the States. He's not like it doesn't make a lot of sense to give him the transatlantic title, the trans title, as I'm gonna call it, because that's fun. But like give it to Trent because Trent works NJPW. We don't see him on TV that much, so like send him to Japan. Send him around the world. Like, do the same thing that you were just...
off of him? Do you pull that belt off of him, though?
Why not? Like, if we had Kenny Omega, and this is going to sound like maybe it's a bit of a weird analogy, but like, if we had Kenny Omega right now, we wouldn't need Pac. Pac and Kenny Omega have sort of the same energy, and we've lost Kenny Omega. I think you have a chance to put Pac in... not in his place, but like you have a similar match style with Pac that you can exploit on Rampage, on Dynamite.
You said that Kenny Omega and Pac are similar, and Leon's face was fucking hilarious. Leon, what do you want to say? Do you agree with it or disagree with it?
I don't know. I mean, it's not invalid. Like they do work similar styles. They're both not like huge guys, but supremely athletic.
Yeah.
Hard hitting with a little bit of aerial stuff thrown in there. It's not something I had considered before, but I see where he's coming from with it.
And see, I was channeling U-Town because I was remembering All Out. Yeah, last year or 2 years ago, Pac, OC, and Kenny. It was Kenny Omega, yeah.
Yep.
And I just think like that I think of that match, and I think all three of those guys have a very similar style and can put on a very similar kind of match.
Wait, we're lumping Orange Cassidy in with those two? He's got fucking sloth style, man. He's nothing like them. He doesn't even want to be there.
I like that sloth style.
That's a good point. I guess it's a good point, the way you're looking at it. I don't disagree with that.
We'll see.
I do agree with what you said, though, losing Kenny Omega and the Bucks. That whole I'm very curious what they were gonna do with those trios titles.
Yeah.
And we'll never know.
Yeah.
But do those guys just come back and win them right away?
No.
Or what do you bring them back to do? Because like I'm looking at the company right now, I'm looking the way they're going. You can kind of see where they're going for the pay-per-view. They're going Mox, MJF. They have to. And they're some of the other stuff's kind of lining up. I think they're going to do the Acclaimed against FTR. Though, dude, FTR is the Acclaimed is so fucking over. They're so fucking over. They amaze me with how over they got.
But that's going to be an amazing match, the Acclaimed versus FTR.
But do you pull the belts off of them that quick?
I think that's the appeal. We don't know. Like, they're both teams are fire right now.
The FTR is so good.
Yeah.
But you kind of see the direction that we're going for. Mm-hmm. I also think they're going to do Pac Cassidy at the pay-per-view.
Again?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's the only match they know how to do. But I can see they're gonna do it again, and Orange Cassidy's gonna beat him. That's eventually where we're going. But at that point, it's gonna be like, yeah, wow, you lost to him 47 times, you finally beat him.
Make it a ladder match. Make it a hardcore match. Make it a orange jumper match. I don't know. Like make it some kind of gimmick match.
Make him hit the orange punch and pin him. That's all you need to do.
He can still do that.
Like you need him, not a ladder match. He's got to pin Pac. He's literally got to fucking pin Pac.
Okay.
He's got to pin him because he's been pinned, submitted, fucking. I don't know. Strung up by his nutsack.
I just think like again, we talked about this last week. Like Pac is going to look at Orange Cassidy and say, "I've beat you 1,500 times," and how is OC going to convince him to fight him again?
And that's the problem.
Yeah,
he's gonna orange punch him.
We tried that already.
Gonna make Pac angry.
We did that already.
But I honestly think they're going to do that at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I could see it.
So they might pull that belt off of Pac. If they gave that to Orange Cassidy, I'd be so confused.
Yeah,
I would be so confused. But where would the Bucks and Omega fit in right now? I don't think they fit in at all. I just don't think they fit in.
Well, supposedly, the investigation is still ongoing. So
allegedly,
that's bullshit. They know what happened, and they're tinkering and trying to make people happy and trying to figure out what the fuck to do. They don't make anybody mad.
I think it's corporate.
Oh yeah, of course.
Skullduggery. I don't think that's the right word,
but you don't have to have corporate because you have one guy calling the shots. So it's just like it's not like we have like WWE. If that happened,
that's how we got to this point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They need more of a corporate structure. Mm-hmm. And I can't believe I'm saying that. But they do.
I think it's less AEW and more where they did I think it's Warner Media more. I don't know. This is wild conjecture. I'm guessing. But
if I'm Warner,
I can totally imagine like a corporate structure saying, "No, you need to look into this more."
If I'm Warner Media, I'm gonna go to Tony Khan and I'm gonna say, "You figure this the fuck out. You could CM Punk on this TV because he's just as a ratings home run. He's a fucking ratings home run. He's their biggest draw, and it's not even fucking close. He is the needle mover."
But I thought it was MGF.
No, it's Roman Reigns. I'm sorry, Leon. I'm gonna have to do this so you can't see me. You can't see me now. But I watched that Sami Zayn and Bloodline segment. I don't know if that's what they're called now. That was really fucking good.
Dude, Triple H is like, they still have some problems.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they are booking that so wonderfully, and they're gonna end up turning Sami Zayn face. It's what's gonna happen because he's impossible to like. And the beauty I like of that segment is that Roman Reigns legitimately, when he was smiling, he was legitimately smiling. Like that's who Sami Zayn is.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I'm gonna say it. I think that the best character right now in WWE, and the guy who gets it the most, and the guy who's like fucking hitting the groove, and the guy who's just like the best guy they have, it's Roman Reigns. You can't argue that. His character's fucking amazing. He gets it. He knows what he's doing. They booked him like a god. He's pissed. I don't care. They booked him like a god and everything. But like right now,
you two sort this out. I'm just gonna go.
No, who's better? Who's fucking better than Roman right now? And it is a product of how they booked him, and they just fed everybody to him. But dude, the guy is fucking like, I watch him and it's just like, dude, this fucking guy gets it, and this guy's a heel. And if this guy was a heel in 2014 when he should have been, what could have happened? Think about that. That's how many years, like fucking 6 years, 7 years we wasted of this guy's career by trying to push him as a fucking babyface. You turn him heel, and it's just like, dude, this guy's he's amazing. He's fucking amazing. And when he puts over whoever the fuck he puts over, and it's going to be at Mania, it's going to be the biggest fucking thing ever. It is going to be fucking amazing. You are going to have a star, and 8 Trips is going to fucking do it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Cody. But that's
Leon, I'm really enjoying watching your face right now.
He's mad. But like, you can't argue it, Leon. Have you watched anything from them? He's fucking mad. He's not even going to respond to me at this point.
No.
You just don't like Roman, and I get why you don't like Roman, because he was booked like shit, and he was shoved down your throat, and you got tired of him, and that's fine. But what he's doing now is actually really fucking, like, it's good. Bud even said it. It's actually really good. Like, he's really good right now. He's the best he's ever been. I still would book him to lose to Orange Cassidy, but that's just me.
The slimmest I've ever been.
Oh.
Good.
Got a high bar to clear.
Leon, could you just do me one favor?
Sure.
I just need you to acknowledge him.
That's what I was going to say. Oh my god, I watched like the top 10 Sami Zayn moments, and like the first one that they showed was him going up to Roman Reigns and saying, "I acknowledge you." I was like, what the fuck is this?
Sami Zayn helps. Sami Zayn's like,
amazing.
Because he's like the fucking, he's hilarious, and Roman Reigns is trying to be serious, and he can't do it because Sami Zayn's amazing.
It's very Rock and Sock Connection.
It is. That is a very good analogy. That is very good. Now Leon's gonna get even fucking madder.
I'm very clever.
I can see some similarities between Roman and The Rock. They're pretty much the same guy. Roman might have a little more charisma.
My head hurts.
And then Sammy's not quite as big as Foley was.
I had spit out my water.
Oh god. This might be the aneurysm. Oh, Lord.
Hey, if you now hold on. If you had a choice between smell what the Rock is cooking or acknowledge me, who wouldn't choose acknowledging me? It's much better.
No, I think you're missing the best line ever. And this, Leon, you can't even argue with me on this. Smell what the Rock is cooking or suffer and succotash.
Okay, I don't think Roman's more
I smell
charismatic
burnt
than The
toast.
Rock.
Do you smell burnt toast?
Leon's having a stroke. No, I don't think he's more charismatic than The Rock.
No, absolutely not.
That's not even fathomable. But he's doing a very good job right now. That's all I'm saying.
Toast.
As you said, Leon, that's the bar. It's not terribly
he's right.
hot. Like,
but they don't have anything. They don't have any. They're building guys,
mm-hmm.
and I'm curious to see who gets built. But you also have to understand Triple H got handed a situation where he was booked in a corner because you can't just beat Roman right away. Yes, bud.
Well, Leon can go first. I'm guessing he wants to talk about E some more.
Oh, I thought we were just doing a thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I'm raising my hand.
Yes.
So you mentioned they're building guys up, and that's.
Thought I was acknowledging Bud.
Thank you.
Acknowledge Bud, please, Leon.
I can't do Roman Reigns' face. But the card tonight. The card tonight made me think, like, they're building up a lot of people, like Willow Nightingale, Brian Cage. Like, I would have never thought that I'd be saying they're building up Brian Cage, but they're totally building him up.
I was nervous for Brian Cage because I thought they were just going to come out and beat him.
Mm-hmm.
But they went 50-50.
That was an amazing match.
It was, like I said, it was my favorite match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
It was my favorite match of the night. So, yeah, they got some stuff. I don't know what they're going to do with Brian Cage, but...
I do like the Embassy, though, too. I like that the Embassy...
Loved him.
Yeah.
Loved him. I think that's great. I think that's a good thing.
Embassy?
Yeah.
You really watch.
Embassy.
Prince Nana? Is that his name?
Prince Nana, Brian Cage, and those two guys that I forgot the name of.
Apparently,
with the ROH thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They're good. That's good. I like that.
Nana.
It's a good. They got some stuff going. They got some guys. I'm happy with it. Like I said, the biggest thing to me with AEW isn't what's going on screen. It's the shit behind scenes.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta kind of like the time Taz called him out for WWE for running a sloppy shop because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you're running a fucking sloppy shop right now with all this shit going on.
Yeah.
So you gotta fucking get your shit together a little bit. So.
Did you hear that they hired Bandito?
Did they officially now? I heard they offered. I didn't hear they hired. They officially hired him?
As far as I know, yeah. My light went out.
Did you just lose a light? You just went
All Elite or
AEW.
ROH?
AEW.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I heard one of the first responses on the subreddit was they want to see Takeshita and Bandito in a 60-minute Iron Man match. And I'm like, yeah, I would pay for that. That would be awesome.
Takeshita went back to Japan.
No, he got hired. Or I don't know if he got hired, but he said that he's moving to the States.
I didn't hear that. WWE wants to hire him too.
I mean, of course they do. I don't think he's going to the E. Maybe he will. I don't know.
Yeah, put him in a kimono. Give him a Hirohito gimmick.
No, Vince doesn't work there anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say. but I'll be honest with you. If I'm from Japan and I'm of Japanese descent and I've seen what they've done in the past, my response would be, "Oh no!" But now you have a new guy. What are we going to do? I have a really big question actually for Triple H. I wish I could get him on here. Are we going to continue changing people's names? Or they get rid of the name generator and he's just going to let them have normal names?
I saw something about them letting people have their full names back again, rather than
But I mean, are we gonna have like
cutting
fucking?
it down to one name and shit.
Are we in like 2 years? Are we gonna be able to rehash the bit where I go through the NXT roster and I say, "Is this an NXT star or a porn star?" And you have no idea. Or are we gonna go to like names that are like, "Oh, a human would have this name. This isn't just a made up name."
Hey, porn stars are humans.
But they don't have human names necessarily.
I mean, that's yeah.
Both valid points, gentlemen.
Magnus, Pierre Seaman, Magnus.
Pierre
I
Seaman.
don't remember what mine was.
Bjorn Hammer and
Hammer.
Pierre. What is yours, bud? I gotta
Magnus.
look.
Is he a sailor?
It doesn't say on mine.
Ryder,
Is he a
Magnus
Ryder. Bjorn Hammer and Pierre Seaman. Yeah, like we could go to we wouldn't be able to be the Brewd.
Oh, yeah.
We'd have to be something like a spin-off of the Brewd, like I don't even know.
The Halloween Machine.
There you go. It's fucking terrible. I'm Pierre Seaman. I'm a sailor. I have a mustache. Y'all, and I have a southern accent because I'm not really from France. You want some grits?
Y'all.
Fucking go. Then Bjorn Hammer. I just pictured Leon with a blonde wig. Like, it doesn't fit right, and it's just kind of like his hair sticking out. And he's got like a fucking hammer. Just like
it shifts constantly.
Yeah.
They didn't put the glue on it, so it just every time he turns his head, it just shifts all over the place.
And then
like
Devo's
hammers.
So I get both the Bludgeon Brothers old hammers. One over each shoulder.
And I don't remember what you were gonna have, but Magnus Ryder needs a fucking motorcycle jacket.
Yeah, I can see it. All right, that works.
And I remember the glitter. See, I remember the glitter bow tie, and I changed it into I was gonna be a MJF knockoff.
A scarf. You were gonna
but not a good one.
Just but like
call
a
everybody
scarf,
Mark all the time.
A scarf with a leather jacket. And then like fucking sweatpants. and then
white tennis
boots.
Shoes.
And no work boots, like a pair of old work boots with like paint on them. I'm Magnus Ryder. I'm tough. I'm here to fight. I'm gonna hit you with my fucking French omelet, y'all. Don't call me a frog, y'all. Let's have some grits.
See, for a second there, I thought you were just lumping me into the, like I was going to say y'all too, because they...
No, then Bjorn Hammer comes out with his big hammer and swings it around, and the wig goes in front of his fucking face, and he looks like cousin it. It would be great.
And then we would have an event, the three of us would have an Avengers gimmick.
And then Vince would be like, this is fucking great, pal. This is good TV.
That's such good shit.
Let's take away their names. We'll just call them Bjorn.
Seaman.
I created you. I own you.
We're going to change your gimmick, pal. You're Seaman now. We're going to dress you all in white. We're going to give you a tail. Fuck.
Oh.
Can you swim down the ramp to the ring? And just like going like that down the ramp. Holy fuck. This is actually this.
You gotta make sure to wiggle the tail.
Wiggle the tail. Like a mechanical tail, like some button I gotta push, so the tail wiggles as I go.
Oh my god.
And then they just make you Magnus.
It needs to be in a fluid.
They turn you into a fucking gladiator. You come out with like a sword that bends when you poke it into stuff.
And also I'm on a motorcycle for some reason.
The fucking helmet is just actually a broom. That'd be great. It would be if the Brewd ran NXT.
That would be it. Yeah.
That is what would happen.
Ratings.
It might.
Yeah,
the Revenginators.
I need something new. We need something new. What if we call a guy Seaman?
I like it.
Jesus.
That's such good shit.
That's just my question, though. Like before that rant was like, can we actually have people with
real
normal names?
No,
not
I think they will.
I hope so.
I don't think Triple H gives much of a shit about people's names. I really don't. I think that's why he's letting people go back.
Some of them are bad.
I also think like Vince had this hard and fast rule of like you can't have your name, the name that you had in the Indies, even though CM Punk got passed somehow.
Because they need to own it.
Because they need to own it, and I don't think Triple H cares that much. Like I think part of it is the trademark thing, but I think another part of that is like you had these guys back in the 90s, or not the 90s, like the 2000s, who would go to the E, and then they would hit the Indies and be like, look, it's so and so from WWE, and like Vince was like, oh, we can't have guys building their name in my company and then take it elsewhere. And I don't think Triple H cares about that.
The other thing I always heard was Vince had to become a fan of you, and he didn't want to take anybody else's character and make it a star.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he wanted to. That's why he wanted to do that too.
I've heard that too.
I'm surprised he pushed Ric Flair, but he kind of had to in the early '90s. But then again, WCW wanted him to shave his hair and become Spartacus, get an earring and be Spartacus.
So, I mean, that's low bar. Low bar.
Yeah, that's a fucking low bar. How would you sell like Vic Grimes? How would you sell the Key character to him? We're gonna change the name to Key because it's a kilo of cocaine. And then Vic Grimes had to be like,
who did that?
There's no Vic Grimes.
No, but I mean, who?
What?
Like, was that
The
WCW or WWE?
WWE. He was going to be Darren Drozdov's fucking drug dealer.
Jesus Christ.
And
What
like, you don't
His
remember
name's
this?
Key. His
How
name's-
do you
I don't
not
remember this. Because I think I probably blacked it out.
He dyed his fucking
back
hair.
in.
He dyed his fucking hair white.
Oh, Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my God.
And he was like, he almost looked like Mordecai. He was like an early version of Mordecai, but his name was Key. And he wrestled for like 2 weeks. And he was with Droz, and he was going to be his drug dealer. How do you sell that? Because if I'm Darren, if I'm Vic Grimes, I'm like, oh, you're naming me after cocaine. I'm his drug dealer. Yeah, okay. Well, I got about a week till I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah.
Or if you're Balls Mahoney, okay, and you're killing it in ECW, and they're like, hey, come on over to the WWF. We got a great gimmick for you. We're going to put you with Ted DiBiase. Sweet, I'm going to be part of the $1 Million Corporation. Yeah. Oh, put the suit on. By the way, you're Santa Claus with an X. You're from the South Pole, and you steal presents. Paul's had to be like, oh, fuck. Okay. Just call Paul Heyman and be like, hey.
That had to be Mick Foley's least favorite gimmick ever.
I'll be back, Paul, in about 3 weeks. Because I think it's fucking weird.
No.
But think about that. Or you get Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who's like fucking coming off that match with Ric Flair in '89 where he won the belt and all that shit.
And make him the dragon.
We don't want you to have your name. We're just calling you the Dragon. We want you to be a real dragon. What? I just shit like that. They fucking
Need you to learn how to breathe fire.
Yeah. Steve
Which is the thing they
Austin
did.
Steve Austin was the ringmaster. Let us not
Ringmaster.
forget.
Yeah.
And Mick Foley was also Mason the Mutilator before that got changed, which is one of my favorite names ever. It's right up there with Chili McFreeze. Though every time I hear Chili McFreeze, I don't think of Steve Austin.
No.
I think of Jensen walking into the ring acting like Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Because that was fucking hilarious. But just all that. There's so many bad. This wasn't a new thing. This was something they did for a long time. We got to have ownership of it. We got to have ownership of it.
I think the big upside is that Triple H, however much power he has people who are going to question him. They're going to call him on his shit. And not just like people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like Road Dogg was there during the Attitude Era. Paul Heyman was there during the Attitude Era. Like he has these guys that he can lean on who knew the business back then, and that stuff is becoming more and more mainstream. Like not necessarily the hardcore stuff, but like that sort of like reality meshed in with like pro wrestling kind of thing.
Yeah. Bud, take us out.
Yeah, Town. What's up?
Take us out. Take us out, Magnus.
Okay. I have been
with the roll up.
Bud Magnus Ryder. That is Bjorn Leon Hammer, and that is Town. Fuck, I don't remember. Bye, everybody.